I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody ever seen. Do it, scream from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man to have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the schools closed, the prisons open. We ain't got nothing to lose, everybody we rolling. Huh? Everybody we rolling. With some light-skinned girls and some Kelly Rowland. In this white man world, we the ones chosen. So good night, cool world, I see you in the morning. Huh? I see you in the morning. This is way too much, I need a moment. No one man to have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, pump that, the world's hours.
Du fragst mich, ob ich mit dir komm, du flüsterst mir in mein
Hello?
Fraser.
What the f- Are you the asshole who keeps mailing me about shit I have to review and keeps stalking me? Well, in that case, let me tell you something, punk. I'll find out who you are. I'll find out where you are and where you live on the planet, and then I'll sail my ass over there like a fucking Viking, and I'll find you, and I'll rip your face off, and I'll wear it like a fucking man.
Dude, chill. It's me, Luke.
Oh, wait. What? Why did you use that weird voice?
Meh, I was bored. So what's up next on the Webcomic Relief?
It's coming up soon. Say, how do you feel about cartoons?
Oh, I love them.
So, you love Grim Tales from Down Below, right?
Isn't that the one comic that,
Yeah.
Maybe you should go back to the drawing board. I mean, think about yourself, man. This comic isn't good for your health.
Trust me when I say that Nada is not reviewing it.
So has this gone on long enough to count as a cameo?
I dare say so, yes.
Okay, smell you later, nerd.
This is my role model, ladies and gentlemen. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
And I'm ready to run over my enemies. Feel the power, baby, just move back. Victory's mine, 'cause I got the fight, will, hustle, kill. Baby, it's the wall, I'm showing you who's real. There's everything is real, 'cause I'm ready for the thrill. Hungry like a wolf, I'm going in for the kill.
Modern cartoons are fucking weird, man. No wonder today's youth is so weird with their cartoons as garbage as... Wait, that's actually fucking good. As garbage as... No, wait, this is also super good. As garbage as... This? Okay, so Steven Universe isn't garbage, but to that one person who got me to watch this shit on the promise that it was more hype than Gurren Lagann, know that you are wrong and you deserve every ounce of ridicule thrown your way. What was I talking about? Alright, kids are stupid. Except you, if you're a kid. You're alright. But, yeah. Modern cartoons are so freaking weird. Like, back in my youth, we had cartoons where a caveman doubled as a superhero, a show focused on what I can only assume are neo-Nazis trying to intercept a messenger bird with incredible elaborate machines, a cartoon where a kangaroo is in an adult call center, and Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, please! Please keep dying, Ren!
joy.
And then cartoons got weird. Look at this. Children's superheroes, children going on adventure, and whatever the shit this is supposed to be. It's goddamn weird. Wow, I can just hear the copyright claim coming from a mile away. Anyway, the reason why I'm talking about cartoons is of course to do a nice segue over to the comic we're reviewing today. I'm kind of perplexed though as to what to segue into first, be it how I never really watched the original cartoon this is based upon, or say that today's author apparently really does like modern cartoons, cause he decided to make a webcomic about, well, basically all of them, not really giving a fuck whether they fit in or not. Have you ever seen a toddler trying to mash a square brick through a circular hole? That's this comic. Looking up today's comic, Grim Tales from Down Below, is a lot like typing in SJW on Google. Sure, you'll find what you're looking for, but the vast majority you will find is screaming and complaints about what you just entered. And unlike the SJW thing, I don't really get it at first glance. Sure, Bleedman, the creator, is notoriously known for creating these weird fanfic comics of different cartoons and giving them more of an adult edge. And honestly, if that's really all, then what the fuck's people's problem? The art looks great and fanfic comics can be amazing. We've not covered a single one in 4 seasons of this show, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere. So, let's get down to brass tacks here. I mentioned it before real quick, but I've never seen Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Now, should I have to do that to review this comic? Nope, and fuck you for thinking I do. I didn't have to try Bondage to review a Sunstone, now did I? And I didn't have to fuck a cow to review Las Lindas either. I know these are the worst possible similarities I can make, but hey, it's my show, I can twist this shit in my favor if I want to. So, no, of course I didn't go into this comic based loosely on a TV show without at least doing some sort of research. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is an American cartoon created by Maxwell Adams for Cartoon Network and has been going since June the 13th, 2003 to November the 9th, 2007. The show is basically 2 best friends, one is cynical, cold and borderline evil, the other is straight up retarded. Somehow manage to enslave and bind the Grim Reaper to be their new friend and hijink ensues. If that sounds great, then don't worry. I assure you that this comic will have absolutely none of this. Okay, so right off the bat you get to see what I can only interpret being a pimp hellboy being greeted by a pitch black chibi girl in next to no clothing. It has 2 frames of flashbacks and we don't get any information to help us establish where we are and what's going on. That's really It's a page from further inside the comic. Wait, did I click the wrong? Nope, this is still the first page. That's unfortunate. So, the real comic starts with this dude walking through a portal with this chick here, and already 2 things are abundantly clear. This art is really good, and the writing is a fucking mess. Seeing we are currently covering writing, let's put a pin in the art and talk about the speech of these characters. Or more specifically, this chick. Remember how I once quoted Shakespeare and said brevity is the soul of wit? If the same rules are applied in the opposite spectrum, that would mean that this chick is a freaking walking mental case. She doesn't shut the fuck up. Not only is her words in this old English style, with thou, thee and art, but her speeches are so insanely cluttered with crap you don't need. Let me give you an example. This voice bubble here originally goes like this. Pray tell, what is this sound that pierces mine ears? It sings of loneliness and longing. My heart bleeds from the very whisper of it. Is it the voice of souls tormented in the shadows? Or merely the wind that sweeps past us? Now add a little bullshit remover and scrub it with some room temperatured water and the sentence will become this. What's that sound? It sounds like horrible screaming. Can you hear it too? That's it. I don't get it. Maybe it's just me who likes things being simple, but what the actual hell does all this shit add? She's not coming across as mysterious or deep. It doesn't seem charming, and whenever I read through all this shit, I just get annoyed, yelling at the comic, "We get it!" Alright, it turns out that these 2 kids are called Grim Jr. and Mini Mandy. No, really. I'm not making that up. I'm gonna go behind the curtain a little and say that these 2's parents are called Mandy and Grim. How uncreative can you possibly hope to be? Like, fuck me, man. This is one step from Kid 1 and 2. Anyway, these two trick-or-treat looking motherfuckers are out to get something known as necropollens, for the sole reason that Mini-Mandy wants to see them. This wouldn't be a problem if they didn't choose to present the flowers' names in such flamboyant letters to make them seem super important. Or if it wasn't because they are apparently found in the realm of fucking Malbolgia. I don't even want to go get milk if it means I have to put on pants. So Malbolgia appears and aims to devour the two kids. He is however stopped when Spawn appears rescuing the two. What? So... Hi, Spawn! I gotta admit I didn't expect to see you in a whimsical comic like this. Anyway, after Spawn defeats Malbolgia, we get a flashback to where, and do pay attention to how insane this will sound, Grim Jr., Mandy, and Mini-Mandy are heading off to go celebrate Halloween with the cast from A Nightmare Before Christmas. This is, however, not done before you, over the span of 3 entire pages, get the This Is Halloween song, where Grim Jr. and Mini-Mandy are interacting with the cast. Oh boy. This is one of those comics where you have to unplug your brain and just write it out, isn't it? So let's skip ahead a little to what I'm sure both you and me wants the answers to the most. Just how the hell did this whole thing get started? Luckily, Grim Jr. gets kidnapped and reads aloud from his dad's journal. How he got that, I don't know. Basically, most of this is just a summary of the show as we know it already, and oh, that's not cool. Anyway, long story short, Mandy figures out Grim doesn't have the stones to kill her and does experiments with testing Grim's patience and limits of her friendship, and that's a poster of Hitler. What? I don't think this can be chalked up as me having not watched the show anymore. I'm also seriously doubting that Mandy single-handedly turned her entire neighborhood into a Nazi regime, but hey, I might be wrong. The comic then jumps forward a few years to where Mandy is a full-fledged adult, and I couldn't make this shit up even if I wanted to, but she's working as a mayor by day and an assassin by night. Why an assassin? What the fuck does this add? Beats the shit out of me and everyone else, I can imagine. So, a guy in a suit comes up to Mayor Mandy and proposes to her, and it then turns out that the man is the Grim Reaper. Why the elaborate disguise, I got no idea. So, she has 10 seconds to think of her reply to the proposal, or Grim will literally kill her. Most well-functioning relationships are based on threatening to kill one another. Kinda, it puts the whole till death do us part into perspective, doesn't it? Even more so when one of them is actually already technically dead. So, the comic jumps back in time to where Mandy is a kid again, and by now you should have realized one of this comic's major points. The pacing is absolute garbage. Let me try and explain where we are in relation to where the comic began. We are currently in a flashback within a flash forward, within a flashback, within a flashback, within another flashback. Shit, I might even have forgotten a time jump somewhere down the line. Plus, with the way the speed is going and the information you're getting, it's hard to keep track of what's going on. Like, why is Mandy an assassin? Why'd she try to kill herself? Does Billy have any importance in this? Why is Grim suddenly proposing to Mandy? Why did he have to disguise himself? Who was he disguised as in the first place? Did he have any importance at all? The comic doesn't do anything with all these plot things, it just throws it in the air. It just shoves dishes into the oven and leaves the building. Anyway, so we jump back to where Mandy is a kid again, and Grim has let the kids be the Grim Reaper for a day. Billy, of course, doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and when it's Mandy's turn, she... Everyone who knows this comic knows about this part. It's the same that everyone who knows about Antichrist knows about the scene where the chick hammers a nail into Willem Dafoe's penis. Or people who know about Control and Delete knows about the infamous miscarriage scene. And as fucked up as those two were, this is somehow much, much worse. Okay, so Mandy is a cold scheming bitch in the show. I get that, but there's a difference between that and actually doing 9/11. And why did it just have to be 9/11? It's a cartoon with heavy paranormal themes. Couldn't Bleedman just have created a made-up tragedy? Did it have to be a real horrible tragedy? And couldn't you have drawn it? Did you have to really use a real picture? There were so many things you could have done to make this much less tasteless. It's even made in 2006, so it's not like if you had made it now where you would at least given ample of time to cool down. There's so much wrong here that I made a list of things you could do to make it better. It's an ancient technique known as having some fucking decency. As if this wasn't bad enough. Yes, I did just say that. But as if this wasn't bad enough, this is what gives Grimm a huge hard-on for Mandy, and he is suddenly reminded about why he enjoyed being the Grim Reaper. And we see him enjoying and shooting the shit during a bunch of real pictures of real-life tragedies. Again, not drawn or made up, but actual real-life tragic events. And that's it. The reason why Grimm falls in love with a fucking toddler. Let's not forget that he first proposes to her when she's older, but we are being told here that this is what sparked his affection for her. This is arguably the most juvenile, disgusting, and poor taste shit I've covered on this show. And with both Jack's Sonnet to an Angel Corp in my back catalog, that should emphasize the seriousness of that claim. Really? I no longer got any big interest in covering the comic from page to page anymore. I've finally gotten to cover what everyone is agreeing on is this comic's downfall. This shit's disgusting, and it's so poorly told that you got no incentive to keep going. It's not like Sonnet 2 where it's just all around bad, and so you are just waiting for the next bad thing to happen. There's signs of skill, but it just makes the comic boring and not worth talking about. I can't help but think that the only reason why this comic has gotten this much traction is because of its juvenile, poor taste 9/11 bit. If you truly want to give the writing any props, it would be that all the various characters holds up rather well to their original depiction. The rest though... There is this thing you'll many times see when very young people or mentally immature people make a comic or a story in general. The story is not focused. It's just an excuse to showcase what they feel is hype or trending at that moment in time. Like, go look up some random children fanfic and I assure you it'll change focus several times in a little to no time. The page will as of such go way too fast, cause it's all about showcasing one thing then immediately on to the next. In case you haven't figured out the segue yet, this is also the case with this comic. The comic is too busy. It's too fast, which is something you'll rarely hear me say. In the span of less than 20 pages, you've been introduced to how Mandy said yes to Grimm's proposal, how Grimm got the children from an abortion clinic, that Mini Mandy is apparently super demonic, Oogie Boogie has attempted to kill Grimm Jr. cause meh, that Helga from Hey Arnold was Mini Mandy's babysitter, found out that Grimm Jr. has a huge boy crush on his godfather Nagal, and you'd be halfway into Mini Mandy more or less just straight up wielding the Witchblade. I'm not kidding or exaggerating here. What the fuck is going on? In Shadow of the Colossus, spoiler for a 10-year-old game by the way, bite me, every Colossi had an amazing build-up. Every Colossi had you venturing out to them, something many retarded critics complained about. There was this knot in your gut, this anticipation in your throat. What was the next Colossus gonna be like? And even when you entered the area, you still had to approach the Colossus for real. Everything was building up to you confronting this huge, hulking mass of death. No one, unless they're complete and utter illiterate retards, would ever discredit the importance of these Colossi. You felt their impact, their importance, the anticipation, and when you finally met them, it was like opening your present on Christmas at long last finding those woolen socks your grandma knitted you. Which are so fucking comfy, like, oh my god, thank you grandma, oh yeah. Well, this comic doesn't know anything about pacing. There's no build up to every big thing that happens. There's no downtime, and as of such, there's no uptime either. Everything just clutters together into a big mess. You feel no importance in anything, cause what is the goal? Frodo has to throw a plot point into a hole, sure. Harry Potter needs to duke it out with a guy with no nose, gotcha. Grimm Jr. has to... I don't know, get away, save his sister, get a plant, make sure evil forces doesn't take over the world. As absolute horseshit as Heavy Rain is, huge spoilers for a super terrible game by the way, fuck you, at least you felt the importance of Ethan's last trial, with him walking through that hallway and being able to pace around the room, listening to a horrible friend's voice actor. There was a setup, there was build-up, there was anticipation for what was gonna happen. You could set expectations of the situation's outcome, you could think back to what led up to this point and so on. Again, still super terrible game, do not buy it, but at least it had more competent pacing than this garbage. When someone who made these 3 games are better than you at anything, you need to reevaluate and rethink whatever you're doing because you're clearly doing it wrong. In short, I had to go back and really fact check about how old Bleedman was because this comic is childish. And by that I don't mean that it's laughing at the word booby or it's as immature about sex as this shit. The immaturity shines through with the pacing as well as the content. It's unfocused, it's random, and it tries to be super edgy, yet it's absolutely garbage at it. At least Jack and Jack had an edginess going for them all the time, and it fit with the theme of it all, but tell me how the fuck you go from making a funny cameo with the song This Is Halloween to fucking show real pictures of 9/11! Did you just decide to do a Nicole Arbor and do something controversial when your shitty original content didn't earn you enough views? So, I think I mentioned this in my Angel Core video, and while the bar I got for the comics content aren't exactly as bad, I'm still feeling the same that I hate when a terrible comic has really good art. Cause, let's be real here, it's not like Bleedman's art is that varied, but the colors and designs are really well done. Even if everything is super bishy and chibi. This doesn't however mean that Bleedman doesn't picture things that gets decapitated and mutilated, which is a stark contrast with his art style and things he's showing. And I kind of feel this is where I'm on the fence about my opinions of Bleedman's art. The art is this childish and cute style, which makes all the dark content act as a dark contrast, which works really well. But I feel maybe it's a little too much. It kind of feels like the comic has some sort of identity crisis, not knowing what tone it wants, cause it never really feels like the juxtaposition and contrast is on purpose. So half of the time it works really great, making all the dark stuff seem much darker in comparison, and the other half of the time it just feels scary and disgusting to see, say, Mini Mandy being literally torn limb from limb. So yeah, on the fence here. Also, am I the only one getting that, that feeling that the creator had this fetishy death boner like there wasn't Tomb Raider? The comic is made up of a bunch of really good art choices, with both backgrounds being really detailed, designs being very creative, and the depiction of something well known in Bleedman's own style, which, I love. I honestly think that Bleedman could easily work on Cartoon Network. His style is smooth, it's easily recognizable, and it's good on the eyes. There are, however, times like this where you have to just go, what the fuck are you doing? It's super upscale, poorly edited card kings fighting for whatever the fuck reason. It gets better, and Bleedman manages to reach an almost foolproof style within the art, both utilizing shadows and lighting, as well as postures and anatomy to an impressive level. I can almost already feel people getting butthurt that I got something to compliment this comic so much for. But, need I remind you that I also had to compliment Pikachu for its art, so... yeah. There's no doubt that Bleedman has been inspired by manga a great deal, using the chibi-esque style incredibly frequently, as well as many other gestures and tropes usually associated with manga. And once again, I'm actually on the fence, cause it's super cute to see Western and Eastern styles collide like this and harmonizing with each other. It's like seeing the super detailed Link in Smash Bros. Standing next to Toon Link, both looking good in their own respect, but colliding drastically. On the other hand, I would really wish that Bleedman had used his Western style all the way through. It would make things seem less mashed together, and the characters would feel more fitting with one another, instead of now where every time you see one of Bleedman's super original OCs, Don't Steal, you immediately know it's his due to that manga chibi look. It'd be like Ray William Johnson videos and reaction videos. Both are videos on YouTube, only one is the laziest fucking garbage in the world that deserves no credit whatsoever, because it's just getting famous on other people's hard work and content. It's lazy, uncreative, and undeserving of all the praise it has gotten. And the other is... Wait, that kind of sums up both of them, doesn't it? When I say the original characters, however, it's not coming without a giant glowing asterisk immediately after it. Cause the only thing that one could be led to believe was Bleedman's own design is in fact not his. Nope, they're designs that he, quote unquote, borrowed from a fellow artist and just decided to make a story with. So, with that said, none of this, maybe with the single exception being the transformations and the likes, are Bleedman's own designs. Every single design is made by someone else. Heck, one could be tempted to say that even the transformation of Def Jr. are so inspired by Witchblade or the Darkness that it doesn't count as original design. What you're currently hearing is the sound of the elephant in the room. Okay, I know perfectly well that I'm in no position to shit all over people's kinks. There's different strokes for different folks, and I've learned an alarmingly big deal of that ever since starting this show, for better and for worse. However, there are points where I kinda sorta feel I need to put my foot in the ground and go, please don't, and that's when it comes to underage children. No matter how you twist and turn it, like this dude who tried to justify killing people and fucking them, that's just not cool. In fact, I find it kinda disturbing. That you find them super cute, kawaii, or whatever you want to call it, that's fine. All the power to you. But just don't show us this shit, please. What is she, 12? 14? Not cool. Again, the point behind ecchi or fanservice is to give the reader something appealing they want to see. Usually, like with this picture, the things you want to see the most are covered up. It teases you, it makes you wish that you could see what was behind it, if only for a brief second. If you're thinking that when seeing a toddler in this situation, I don't care if it's judgmental, fuck you, stop it! I'm having an easier time defending guru fetish than this shit! Before we start talking about the various characters, there's a huge problem with this story's characters as a whole that I feel I need to address. Who the hell matters? Like I mentioned earlier when dealing with the writing, you don't know what matters, and the same goes for the characters. Like, does Jack Skellington matter? How about Grimm? Mandy? Oogie Boogie? Hellboy? Spawn? Who the fuck matters? Even fucking Naruto knew that if your character has no importance like Tenten here, you don't give her screen time. You introduce her, you showcase her a little, and then you move on. That's why they picked Neji to die at the end of the series. Oh, by the way, Neji dies and I don't care, spoiler or whatever. Because not only did you establish him with a background and motivation, you also gave him a character and the likes and dislikes. Your characters are worse introduced than Leslinda's. Seek help. When writing this review, I had to several times stop and return to it because the comic was so boring. And it was first when I heard these words that the comic finally clicked for me and I was able to see it for what it really was. Fanfiction. This comic is horrible garbage fanfiction where the creator's characters is in the focus of everything and is able to do everything and beat everyone. In other words, Def Jr. here is a horrible garbage Mary Sue. And once you get that perspective, everything just makes sense. Who gives a crap about all the characters other than Def Jr. and Mini Mandy? Everyone is just made to make these two excel above them. This is Bleedman wanting so bad for his characters to be established in the world of these various cartoons, which I guess also explains to some extent one of my biggest questions of Def Jr. Why the hell does he exist when he could just as easily have been, say, Jack Skellington or Grimm? Why did he have to be this kid? I swear everything you see from Def Jr. at the beginning is things that Grimm or Jack could easily do, or it's something they've already done. I guess if we had to be really mean, it's because Bleedman likes the small chibi characters. But if that's the case, it wouldn't surprise me if they were having some weird incestuous relationship. Yes. Yes, I'm aware that they are sharing a weird incestuous relationship. And you can fuck off if you think it makes any big difference that they are only half-siblings, or one's a demon and one's an angel, or what the fuck ever. Strike 1 was 9/11, strike 2 was sexualizing children, strike 3 is the children having incestuous relationship. Bleedman, you're out! Oh god, this would have been a great time to go into the final verdict. Still need to work on that timing. Okay, there are 2 and only 2 characters worth speaking about, and neither of them are any good. You might think Mandy got a bigger role with all the setup she got, but nope. You might think Grim, the one everything centers around, was important, but you'd be wrong as well. The only 2 characters worth talking about are those with the worst possible names in the entirety of fiction, like Slayer from Project Second, Def Jr., and Mini Mandy. So let's talk about Def Jr. Think what Jack Skellington would be like as a kid, and you basically got it. But if you haven't seen The Nightmare Before Christmas, Def Jr. is energetic and jealous. He is valorous and brave, and has great love for his sister. Too great a love for his sister. This sister is Mini Mandy. This fucking name will be the death of me. Who is some weird mix of demon and angel, and does have gained the powers of the Witchblade. And she's one of those who've always been gifted and good at everything since childbirth that the brother could then be jealous over. If you don't know the trope, I'd love to send you a package of all the tons of fiction it's been used in, but you'd have to send me the address for the rock you've been living under the past 20 years. Also, as we covered before, she has this super fucking annoying way of talking. It's so bad. Every time she opens her fucking mouth, I wanna skip the page. I don't care about anything she has to say, solely because she insists on using that old-style English. And it's not even done correctly. It's way over the top. She seems more like she's in a Shakespeare act where a lot of the over-the-top English words were used for comedic effect. If it's a play or a ghost that's related to a theater, or it's super old, then that's the only thing that can excuse that way of speaking. If not, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that it can never be a good thing to use it, and you should not do it. Or at least you shouldn't if you want to appeal to me, which you should, because I'm the guy with the hat and the mic and the dumb review show, and no, my parents don't know where they went wrong either. The writing is a 4. I will admit that some of the stuff this comic has is interesting, and I guess I can sorta compliment the comic for not being super slow either. I do prefer things when they are fast rather than slow paced, but then the problem is that it's too fast and too poorly handled. The comic's only saving grace is seeing how the various characters from other cartoons fit into the universe. Had Bleedman made a comic that was 100% his own characters, this comic would be best fit as toilet paper. The art is a 6. The art is okay. I do enjoy the depiction of the various characters in Bleedman's style, and I also enjoy his great shading and lighting prowess. It's just a shame when that's all there is. Every character, especially the female characters, looks the same. The girls even often have features you'd only see in Powerpuff Girls. That and the lack of no vision and own designs is just poor. The characters are a 3. The original characters can fuck off. They're garbage, and if I were the one who let Bleedman use them for his story, I'd ask him to stop immediately, cause he's clearly not doing them any service. The rest of the cast isn't good either, but at least it's sometimes somewhere fun to see well-established characters in a different environment. It's just a shame they are all so poorly introduced. The final verdict for this comic is a 3. Holy crap, is this comic boring. It's been one of those comics where going through it felt more like homework than actual interest. Nothing happens, and when something finally does, it's either super offensive or poorly told. The best word I can use to describe this comic is that it's immature and childish, but I kind of don't want to call it that, cause I guess that explains why Bleedman enjoys doing it so much. Take from that quote what you want. Normally I actually enjoy reviewing shitty comics more than the good ones, but this one was such a chore. I don't see what people like in it, and I'm actually not too sure that I want to find out. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next Webcomic Relief. Take care. I swear if this doesn't fucking say that crazy asshole, I don't know what the fuck will.
This is madness, madness. 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 Yeah, rise, flash, flash, floods of chemically treated hydrogen 2, oxygen, artificially heated biochemicals, radioactive movements, WMDs turn humans to mutants, viral weapons and pollutants let loose by the fools. In the world so cruel, where the warlords rule with an iron fist, humans on the brink of collapse, second chances, nanotech, scientific advances. This descent into madness. For greed and ego, they brought the devil to dance with humanity. Cybernetics compensate for their hands, the arms, legs, and feet of child, woman, and man. War, cyborg, hybrid, It all feels like a dream till you pull up your eyelids. With a cold heart of darkness, one city is lawless. One city fighting for order, that's what the law is. This is madness, madness. 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 This is madness.
Machine versus humanity, clutch my sanity. This is man versus the animal of anarchy. The birth defects are now spotted like astronomy, and all genetic traces of hope are still anomalies. Plates of steel armory and scarred your grill. In a world so real, half a century still, armed to the teeth, metal mechanical limbs. And if they throw stones, we throw back the virus and win. Past the sinners in the holy life survival.
Happy holidays. I can only apologize for the long wait for this episode. A bunch of sickness and, holiday sales and all that stuff kind of got in the way, but hey, we finally got it out, and even in time to beat New Year's Eve, so yeah, I guess we managed to do it. This episode has been made possible by a bunch of amazing people. We got a lot to cover, so let's just get at it. First of all, we got Nights to Dreams. Nights to Dreams has done a lot of awesome art for me during my my Let's Play of Undertale, and she's just an all-around incredible artist, and she's working on her own comic known as Fractures. You should really go check it out, because it really has this very unique and very colorful art. Scott Fraser. Scott Fraser is working on Star Warriors. Star Warriors is an excellent fantasy comic about making wishes and the people who make sure that those things come true, be it good or evil. Nick Nocturne. Nick Nocturne is quickly becoming one of the favorite things I can find on YouTube. He is the host of Nightmind, a series that focuses on dealing with horror, found footage stuff or other things that you can find on YouTube. You should really go check it out, especially now where it's dark and everything can be kind of scary. It's amazing. Jake Springhorn. Jake Springhorn works on The Drifter, a very mature, very well done furry comic that you should really go check out. I covered it on my stripping episodes, and if you don't wanna, jump straight into it, you can see my thoughts on it in the stripping episode. Angel Povedano Ruiz. Angel is working on Cretaceous Survivor, which is a webcomic about the last dinosaur alive. As of now, the story follows the raptor when it wakes up during modern day, and how it breaks out from an experiment center. It's very interesting and is very concise and tightly woven together. Plus, there's no doubt in my mind that Angel cares a lot about dinosaurs, because that really shines through. Go check it out. Nana Newcomb. Nana Newcomb is working on Blackbird, but as of now, that's getting revamped. So instead, you should go check out her DeviantArt and see all the incredible art this woman can do. Alix J. Alix J works on a webcomic known as Death's My Bitch, a very interesting webcomic about life after death. It deals with how the Grim Reapers are working as they are, and well, just how it works as a system. It's really interesting and it has a very adult look on death as a whole. Luraiokun. Besides being a super cool dude, Luraiokun also works on Yav, a very mature, very romantic, and very, interesting webcomic about romance and love, and how it can be, misinterpreted with sex and all that stuff. It's very interesting and it's very nice to see a different take on romance, especially in a webcomic, so go check it out. CloudyDaze. CloudyDaze is working on Overcast, which is going to be a series of sprite animation telling a story. It's going to be really interesting, and if you want, you can go to his DeviantArt where you can already now see some really cool concept art from it. Shane Asher. Shane works on Strays of Siravia, which is a webcomic I strongly suggest that you go check out. It's about superheroes in its purest form. There's so much charm and so much hard work put into this comic, and he is taking a lot of advices from popular webcomic artists out there. So you can see this guy is growing with fast pace. And lastly, we got J. Lee, Brittany Williamson, Wai Lee, Alyster Vain, Shannon TJ, Shiv, Ghostlight Studios, LizzieShiro, Gage, Zachary Seligson, and David Lillie. If you want to help the Webcomic Relief, you can do so on Patreon. Just go to www.patreon.com/Riser. You can pledge any amount you want, it's entirely up to you. Every amount of money will be withdrawn with every video put out, so you won't be paying for nothing. Furthermore, the more you pay, the more awesome rewards you get. You don't have to pledge any money to the show, but it's strongly appreciated, and I really can't thank these amazing people who have done it thus far enough. It really brings a tear to my eye knowing that there's such cool people out there. And if you don't want to pledge to the show, well, you don't have to. At least think about subscribing and liking the video. And if you don't want to do that, well, at least thank you for watching till the end. But before I leave you off, remember that we got a contest going for the Webcomic Relief, where you can get to design my fight stick for the Riser's Road to Glory videos, where I'm playing fighting games on my Let's Play channel. The award for winning is your print on my fight stick that will be showcased in every video, alongside with a stripping episode entirely dedicated to you and what you do, as well as your URL thrown in the description of every Road to Glory video. So there's really a lot on the line, and all you have to do is create a really cool design for my fight stick within the 1st of February 2016. So with that, I wish you all a very happy new year, and I'll see you guys in 2016 for another episode of the Webcomic Relief. Take care, bye bye.